Okay, this video tutorial looks at the mathematical strand of trigonometry, and more specifically we're going to focus on our understanding of the cosine rule. So the cosine rule is a rule that allows us to find missing angles and lengths of non-right angled triangles if we know two side lengths and an included angle. Alright, so if we know two side lengths and an included angle, we can use one of these formulas. Or if we know all three side lengths of the angle of the triangle, but we don't know any angles, we can use this formula here. Okay, so here's an example where we may see a question where we need to find a missing length using the cosine rule. You can see on our diagram here, we've got a, little a, and we have little b and little c here. So we've actually got two lengths and an angle that's in the middle of them. We now need to find out the missing length, or the third length of the triangle. And we are going to use this formula here. So we have a squared, which in this case is x. So x squared is equal to b squared, which is 126 squared, plus 81 squared, which is our c squared value. Take two lots of our b value, which is 126, multiplied by our c value, which is 81, cosine of our angle, which is 47. So therefore, x squared is equal to, if we put all that into our calculator, 126 squared plus 81 squared, take two lots of 126 times 81 times cosine of 47, and our answer is going to be 8516. So x squared is equal to 8516. We then square root our answer, and x is going to give us a value of 92.28 meters. Okay, so here's an example where you might find a question that's asking you to determine the missing angle of a triangle. All right, so you can see here that in our diagram, the missing angle is at B. So we are, in fact, going to use this formula here, which means that this would be B, this is a little c, and this is a little a. So we've got cosine of B is equal to a squared, which is 11 squared, plus c squared, which is 8 squared, take b squared, which is 9 squared, all over two lots of a, which is 11, times c, which is 8. Cosine b is equal to, we'll just work all that out in our calculator, 11 squared plus 8 squared, take 9 squared, all over 2 times 11 times 8. So that's going to be 0.59. We now do second function, so b is equal to cosine second function 0.59. b is going to equal to 53.78 degrees. Okay, so here are some practice questions on the cosine rule that I'd like you to have a try. So please feel free to pause the video. In the first question, you're looking for the missing length, and in the second question, obviously, you're looking for the angle at theta. Once you think you've got the correct answers, continue the video and we'll see how you went. So let's see how you went. In our first question, we're looking for the value of x over here. All right, so if we call that a, this can be little a, this can be b, little b and little c. Therefore, we're actually going to be using this formula up here, where x squared is equal to b squared plus c squared. Take two lots of b times c, and then we're going to do cosine our value, which is 32. Now, if we put all that into a calculator, 11.8 squared plus 9.3 squared, take 2 times 11.8 times 9.3 times cosine of 32, close bracket. That's going to give us an x squared value of 39.6. Therefore, if we square root both values, x is going to equal 6.29 meters. In our second example, all right, let's call this A, therefore that's little a. This could be B, that's little b. This could be C, that's little c. We're going to be using this value here. So the cosine of capital A, which is theta, is equal to b squared, which is 6 squared, plus c squared, which is 8 squared, take a squared, which is 10 squared, all over 2 lots of 6 and 8. Therefore, this is going to be 0 over 96. Therefore, cosine theta is going to equal 0. Second function, cosine of 0, theta is equal to second function of 0, theta is equal to 90 degrees in this particular case. Now, some of you would have already realized that because you would know that 6, 8, 10 is a Pythagorean triple. But if you did not realize that, then you would have gone through the steps like I did and found that this was actually a right-angled triangle.